What if I told you that 90 days from right now, your nonprofit could look fundamentally different, financially, operationally, and strategically? Not because of a miracle grant, not because of a viral fundraising campaign, but because you finally decided to look at the whole picture and do something about it.
How do you suggest I do that?
We spent the last 8 episodes together, dismantling every myth, every guilt trap, and every financial blind spot that keeps mission-driven organizations stuck, broke, and one bad month away from closing their doors. And today, we're bringing it all together. Because information without action is just really well-intentioned procrastination.
All I've done is procrastinate.
So today I'm giving you the Rise Reset, a 90-day framework that takes everything we've covered in this series and turns it into a step-by-step roadmap that you can start implementing this week. So welcome back to another episode of From Purpose to Profits. Well, hey there. I'm Kimberly Ferguson, CEO and founder of The Emerald Edge. This is the series for nonprofit leaders who are done choosing between mission and financial stability. And they're ready to build organizations that are strong enough to do both. So this is our framework episode. This is where everything clicks. And because I want you to actually use this, not just watch it, I've built a free workbook around the Rise Reset that you can actually download using the link below. It walks you through every phase, every question, and every action step so you can implement this in your own organization starting today. Let's get into it.
It's all coming together.
The Rise Reset is a 90-day financial turnaround framework built specifically for nonprofits in the $500,000 to $5 million revenue range. 4 letters, 5 phases, and 90 days. Here's how it works.
It's a 45-day, 45-point, 1 point per day.
So R is for review, and this is days 1 through 10. Before you can fix anything, you have to face everything. And I mean everything. Your cash flow, your solvency ratio, your restricted versus unrestricted fund breakdown, your accounts payable, your revenue by source, your program cost versus program revenue, your operating margin, your months of cash on hand. Every single number in your organization tells a story, and most nonprofit leaders are only reading one chapter, usually the bank balance, and calling it the whole book.
Well, there's obviously a lot more to the story.
So in the review phase, we read the whole book. Cash flow tells you your short-term survival. Solvency tells you your long-term stability. Program costs tell you your spending efficiency. Revenue patterns tell you your resilience. So today, they tell you the truth about where your organization actually stands, not where you hope it stands.
They say the truth shall set you free.
This phase is 10 days if you have solid books, but it can take a lot longer to determine what all these numbers actually are if you don't. So don't beat yourself up if it takes a little time. Just stay focused, take the time you need, but get it done.
Just do it.
This phase is not comfortable, but it is essential because you cannot build a financially healthy organization on a foundation of assumptions.
Know what they say when people assume things.
So next we have I, which is Intentionalize, and this is days 11 through 20. So once you know your numbers, you build your margin deliberately and unapologetically. In the Intentionalize phase, you set your profit target. For most organizations in this revenue range, that's 10 to 20%. And then you run the true cost calculation on every program you deliver. Direct costs plus allocated overhead divided by participants. And you price accordingly, not based on guilt, not based on what you think people can afford, based on what it actually costs you to deliver the program, plus your margin.
Deliberately, purposefully.
This is also where you trim the fat. Every expense line gets a question. Is this directly funding our mission or our capacity to deliver it? If the answer is no, it goes.
I'm getting rid of all of it.
So after we've determined what we can cut, we set targets for those amounts too. Think program expenses, development, payroll and personnel, operations, etc. Look at what your nonprofit did over the last 12 months and accounting for the cuts that you decided on, set new targets for the next 12 months.
Look, Lou, I have a very targeted approach.
And then we have S, which is secure, and this is days 21 through 30. So in the secure phase, you apply the 30% rule to your entire revenue model. No single funding source exceeds 30% of total revenue. Not one grant, not one donor, not one government contract. You map your 5 revenue streams: grants, individual donors, earned income, corporate partnerships, and community fundraising, and you identify the gaps. Where are you overexposed? Where are you underleveraged? What does a diversified revenue model look like for your specific organization? This phase doesn't build diversification overnight, though. It builds the plan, the intentional strategic roadmap that ensures no single phone call ever has the power to close your doors again.
The person whose calls you always take, that's the relationship you're in.
And then we have E for elevate, and this is days 31 through 90. This is the longest phase and the most transformative. So elevate has 2 parts. Part A, install, and this is days 31 through 60. So this is where you close the financial leadership gap. You assess every area of your organization through the lens of financial health, not just the budget, but your systems, your hiring, your operations, your donor strategy, your program delivery model, your leadership structure. This is the holistic CFO phase, where the numbers stop being just numbers and start being a diagnostic tool for your entire organization.
This is awesome. This changes everything.
And then part B, we evolve, and this is days 61 through 90. This is where you measure, you check in, you adjust. You look at what the first 60 days revealed, and you make sure the foundation you've built is holding and growing. Because a financial reset isn't a one-time event. It's the beginning of a new way of running your organization. And the evolve phase is where that new becomes permanent.
It's far more involved and far more evolved.
I worked with a nonprofit in the rehab and recovery industry that went through every single one of these phases. They reviewed numbers they had never looked at before. They found program gaps that were costing them tens of thousands of dollars annually. They restructured their onboarding and offboarding model, and they installed holistic CFO leadership that touched every corner of their organization. And in less than 6 months, they had a $600,000 swing from over $300,000 in the red to over $300,000 in the black. Not because they worked harder, because they finally worked with the whole picture. And that is what the Rise Reset does.
I should have done this years ago.
So here's what I want you to do right now. 2 things. 1, download the Rise Reset workbook using the link below. It's completely free, and it walks you through every phase, every calculation, and every action step so you can begin your own 90-day reset starting today. It is built for nonprofits who are ready to protect their purpose, grow their profits, and press forward with permanence.
New binder smell.
And then second, if you look at these 4 phases and you think, I need someone in my corner for these phases, book a call with us at the Emerald Edge. That is exactly what our holistic CFO work is designed for. We will look at your whole organization, not just your spreadsheets. We will build a financial foundation that makes your mission unstoppable. Both of those links are below. Start with the workbook, and if you're ready to go further, we'll be right there.
I'm in.
This has been From Purpose to Profits, where we prove that doing good and doing well aren't opposites. They're partners in creating lasting change. And if you've made it through this entire series, first of all, thank you. Genuinely. It means your mission matters enough for you to do the work. In our next episode, we're going beyond the framework and getting into real questions from real nonprofit leaders. The ones you've been sending in, the ones that keep coming up, and the ones nobody else is answering honestly. It's our first From Purpose to Profits Q&A. And trust me, some of these questions are ones you've been afraid to ask out loud. You don't want to miss this one. So make sure that you're subscribed.
Yeah, but brother's got some cues that need aid.
And remember, 90 days, it's not a long time, but it is long enough to change everything. Review your numbers, intentionalize your margin, secure your revenue, and elevate your leadership. Rise. Keep leading with purpose, and I'll see you in the next episode.